Thanks for joining me for this demo of the WhyBot wireless intelligence platform. My name is Mike and I'm one of the engineers here at WhyBot. Today I'm going to give you an overview of the features and capabilities of the WhyBot wireless intelligence platform. WhyBot is an exciting new solution that allows WLAN administrators and IT staff to automatically analyze, monitor, and optimize their Wi-Fi networks. In the past decade, Wi-Fi has gone from a nice-to-have feature at many schools and businesses to a mission-critical part of the network. The WhyBot team has worked in the Wi-Fi industry for the better part of the last 20 years, and while we've seen the technology evolve immensely, the troubleshooting tools just haven't kept pace. We're still reliant on packet capture tools like OmniPeak and visualization tools like Insider and NetScout. And don't get me wrong, I like those tools, but I'm a Wi-Fi engineer who's done this for 15 years. These tools require the user to know what they're looking for in order to be useful. Most IT staffs don't have a dedicated wireless expert. The person managing the Wi-Fi may be the same person handling server virtualization, backups, and 10 other things. Today's IT staffs are smaller, and we all have to wear many different hats. Furthermore, all of the existing tools require someone to be on-site at the time that the Wi-Fi issue is occurring in order to capture data. This can be impractical for remote locations and problems that occur after hours. And this is where WhyBot comes in. We allow you to monitor, troubleshoot, and optimize your network remotely 24/7. The WhyBot system consists of two parts: a sensor that is installed at the site to be monitored, and a cloud server that the sensor communicates with. You access the system using the WhyBot Cloud dashboard, which can be done from a browser anywhere. The sensor looks like a typical enterprise-grade access point. It has three 802.11ac radios plus Bluetooth support. It runs off of standard 802.3 AF PoE or DC power. After powering on and connecting to our cloud server, the sensor immediately begins capturing and analyzing data about the wireless environment. The sensor continuously captures all wireless data around it. It then takes that data and distills it down into what we call metadata about what was captured. We send that metadata to the cloud where we do further processing and analysis on it. The system is completely plug and play. It requires no configuration to begin working, just internet connectivity. The WhyBot system consists of three main components. The first is automated analysis of the wireless environment with the ability to detect and report problems. The second piece is proactive monitoring through the use of network tests. This is where the sensor has the ability to act as a wireless client and connect to the network and then run a variety of tests. The third component is reactive troubleshooting using a feature called client forensics. And this is the ability to go back in time and see issues that were triggered by a client nearby the sensor. Combined, these features make the WhyBot system an all-in-one tool for analyzing, monitoring, and optimizing your wireless network. We'll discuss each of these components in detail during this demo. Let's start by looking at the cloud dashboard. The system is accessed by web browser at cloud.whybot.com. After logging into the system, you'll be at the dashboard for one of your configured locations. The WhyBot system allows you to create multiple virtual locations and assign sensors into them. This allows you to separate data from different physical locations to see how well each site is performing. The location level dashboard shows information presented in what we call tiles. You can click on any tile to get more details. The access points tile shows all of the APs that sensors can see. This includes your APs, neighboring APs, and any hotspots that may be present. We can see the vendor and technology type. We also see the channels they are operating on, so we can get a sense of how much channel overlap there is in the network. The Wi-Fi clients tile shows us all of the clients the sensor is able to see. Similar to the APs tile, we can see detailed info about the clients, including which SSID they are connected to and the band they are using. The sensor can automatically discover client names from 802.1x authentications or DHCP exchanges. The Wi-Fi networks tile shows all of the SSIDs that the sensor can see. It shows the number of individual radios or BSSIDs that are advertising the network and the type of security they are using. The sensor also discovers and shows hidden networks and is able to determine the name of these if clients are connecting to them. All of the information being shown on this screen is aggregated for the location. Sensors in the same physical location are able to work together to consolidate data and give a more comprehensive view of the network. So the more sensors you have in a location, the more information you'll get. It's also important to understand that all of the information being presented on the dashboard has been collected wirelessly by the sensors. We aren't querying your WLAN controller or polling APs. This is all being captured over the air by the sensors. Clicking on a sensor name brings us down to the individual sensor level. Unlike the aggregated view at the location level, here we see information specific for just this one sensor. At the sensor level, all tiles have a historical view that lets you see data for the past day, week, or month. This is useful for seeing trends in historical data or performance of the network. The airtime utilization tile shows the percentage of airtime currently being used on each channel being monitored. This takes into account data, Wi-Fi overhead, and interference. This information can be extremely valuable when troubleshooting Wi-Fi problems. If the channel utilization is pegged at a high number, users are not going to have a good experience. The historical graph is particularly useful when looking at airtime utilization. Spikes in the airtime utilization can be zoomed in on to get more information about what was happening at that time. So the dashboard presents a lot of information that an administrator can use to piece together the health of the network and troubleshoot problems. By itself, all of this data makes the sensor a pretty useful tool for an IT staff. But the real power of the WhyBot solution lies in our signatures. And those are what we see in the issue details tile here. Our cloud AI engine runs our signatures against the data the sensors collected and automatically finds and reports issues. You can think of signatures very similarly to an antivirus program. We're doing pattern matching against the data that is collected by the sensors and looking for problems. These problems can be network configuration issues, client connectivity problems, airtime utilization issues, and a variety of other things. All of our signatures give a clear explanation of the problem, and most importantly, they give an actionable solution to address it. These solutions are the heart of the WhyBot system and are the main differentiator from other products. The signatures window dynamically updates every 5 minutes, so you'll see different issues reported depending on what's currently happening in the network. You can also view historical problems that have been reported anytime in the past month. Like all graphs in the dashboard, you can zoom in and click on a point to get more details about a specific incident. Our signatures are designed first and foremost to help optimize your wireless network, so we place a lot of emphasis on detecting network configuration issues. The engineers who created the WhyBot system drew from many sources when designing our config signatures. These include industry best practices and WLAN vendor recommendations, as well as our own extensive background in designing, deploying, and managing wireless networks. We've designed this product to be the tool that we would want to use when troubleshooting a Wi-Fi problem. Having a WhyBot sensor is like having a dedicated wireless engineer on site 24 hours a day. We are continuously adding new signatures to our library. We enjoy close collaboration with our customers and work to add signatures to diagnose real problems that they are experiencing on their networks. The best part about our signatures is that when we add a new one for one customer, all of our other customers benefit from it. Automated analysis is the first main component of the WhyBot solution. I always discuss this first because optimizing the wireless network is critical to having it consistently perform well. If the network is not optimized, then things may work well some or most of the time, but you'll see intermittent issues and problems will most likely occur at peak times of usage. These can be the hardest problems to diagnose and the most frustrating for your users. Once the network is optimized, you'll want to ensure that it continues to perform well over time. This is where the second part of the WhyBot solution comes in, proactive monitoring using network tests. These tests allow you to continuously validate your networks are working correctly and be notified of any problems that occur. As I mentioned earlier, the sensor has 3 radios in it. 2 of the radios are continuously capturing wireless data to facilitate running signatures. The third radio is a multi-personality radio, and one of its capabilities is to act like a true wireless client that can connect into the network and run a variety of tests. This means you have the ability to run wireless tests remotely. This is extremely powerful for schools and companies that manage remote sites. With a WhyBot sensor in each location, you no longer need to go on site to troubleshoot or verify that the wireless is working properly. This is especially beneficial when problems are reported after hours or on the weekends. The WhyBot system supports a number of predefined tests, including wireless connectivity, internal and external host connectivity, application monitoring, security scans, device discovery, speed tests for internet throughput testing, iPerf for local network throughput testing. Tests can be run on both the wired and wireless interface of the sensor, so this gives you a comparison to determine whether the problem is isolated to the wireless network or not. When a test is run on the wireless interface, it can be run against any SSID that you've configured credentials for on the dashboard. This is especially important when you maintain several different SSIDs, each with their own set of associated policies. You'll also want to test your Wi-Fi based on your network architecture. If your SSIDs egress onto different VLANs depending on which building the APs are in, then you'll need to test all of those separately to ensure that the back-end infrastructure is working properly. Each network test can be run manually or on a schedule. Most WhyBot customers choose a set it and forget it model where they create several different tests that verify the important components of their network and then have them run on a periodic schedule. If one of the tests fails, the system can automatically notify you via email that the failure occurred. This lets you discover network problems before your users do. Our customers also love scheduled network tests for the validation that they provide after network maintenance is performed. During a typical scheduled maintenance window, several things may be changed that can affect the network. New AP and controller firmware might be installed, new switches or VLANs may be added, ACLs and firewall policies might get changed. Once all this maintenance is completed, the IT staff wants to know that nothing broke during the changes. With scheduled network tests, the next time the test runs, it will automatically detect and report the failure. The tests are color-coded by severity so you can quickly see the status of each. Each test result gives a breakdown of the steps performed and the time that each step took. When a failure occurs, it's clear exactly what failed, allowing for a quicker resolution of the issue. This level of detail is critical for IT staff for debugging problems. Let's face it, from your user's point of view, every problem is a Wi-Fi problem. Web page won't load, file downloading too slow, can't connect. Users see every one of these as a Wi-Fi problem. But as IT staff, we know that there are many components and technologies involved to get a user's data from their device out to the internet beyond the WLAN. There could be problems with an authentication server, or with DHCP or DNS. The firewall policy may be blocking something. Knowing the exact cause of why something's failing allows IT staff to fix the problem quickly and move beyond the complaint that the Wi-Fi's down again. Network tests also create automatic graphs that allow you to easily see the results over time for metrics like throughput and application response time. These graphs also show important details from each test, including DHCP, DNS, and radius. WhyBot's machine learning algorithms automatically learn and baseline the performance of your network and can alert you when they deviate over time. Like all other graphs on the WhyBot dashboard, you can view data for the past day, week, or month for any of the graphs. The third part of the WhyBot platform is reactive troubleshooting using our client forensics feature. This feature was designed with input from many of our customers who said that while seeing the network's current status was important, what would really help them would be the ability to see problems that happened in the past. This is because when users are experiencing a problem, they almost never report it at the time. Rather, they submit a ticket sometime later that says, "On Monday I wasn't able to cast to the smartboard," or "Last week my laptop would only connect to the guest network." These problems are frustrating for both the IT staff as well as the users. Technology is supposed to simplify our lives, but all too often it becomes an impediment to our jobs or classroom environments. Trying to diagnose problems that happened in the past is difficult because there's no longer data to collect and analyze. This is where client forensics comes in. The WhyBot sensor captures client connectivity issues that occur nearby to it. These issues are then searchable on the WhyBot dashboard for up to 1 month. Anytime you see a magnifying glass on the dashboard, clicking on it will bring you to client forensics. You can also type in a MAC address or a client name here on the client forensics page to see information. On this page, you'll see information about the client and its capabilities. You can tell if the client is currently being tracked by the sensor or when it was last seen. And down below, you'll see any signatures that the client has triggered for the past day, week, or month. Clicking on a point on the graph will show you what the issue was. When a client is having a true connectivity issue, it tends to trigger multiple signatures at once, and these events stand out on the graph. You can also go to a specific date and time to see if any issues were reported for the client. Client forensics helps IT staff by giving details around the time a problem occurred. For example, was this the only client that had an issue at the time? If one client has an authentication failure, then probably that client typed in the wrong password. But if multiple clients had failures at the same time, then it's more likely a problem with the authentication server. For a WLAN administrator, Sometimes the most important thing to do when troubleshooting wireless complaints is to split the problem in half and determine whether it's the client or the network at fault. Client forensics can help with this. The WhyBot sensor can also be used in a data gathering capacity. If you have a classroom or specific user that frequently experiences problems, then you can put a WhyBot sensor in that area for a few days to capture data. Afterwards, you can use client forensics to see what issues were reported for the client. That covers the major technical aspects of the WhyBot system. As you can see, we've created a clean, easy-to-navigate user interface. We try not to overload you with information, but only show you what's relevant to helping you analyze your wireless network. People often ask, can I get the same information from my WLAN controller? Some of it is available, but again, you'll need to know how to find it. But when it comes to optimizing your wireless config, your WLAN controller isn't much help. Most controllers will happily let you shoot yourself in the foot if you misconfigure something. I like to tell our customers that we aren't trying to replace your WLAN controller. Rather, the WhyBot system is complementing the information from your controller and, more importantly, acting as a check on it. Your controller will always have a global view of the APs it's managing, but a sensor is useful to see what's happening in a specific area. Our solution is completely vendor agnostic. That means it doesn't matter who your WLAN vendor is. We're able to capture and report information for every type of Wi-Fi network. This is especially important for customers who have a mix of vendors in their own networks. Other vendor-provided WLAN monitoring tools are expensive and difficult to use. You need to know what you're looking for already for those tools to be useful. With the WhyBot system, you're getting information and solutions within minutes of putting it into your network. In addition to traditional network administrators, one area where we also see a lot of interest is from integrators of wireless equipment. This can be anything from wireless heart monitors in hospitals, point-of-sale systems in restaurants, video displays, one-to-one computing in schools, or robots in automated warehouses. Many new, innovative companies are creating and deploying their own solutions that are built on Wi-Fi. For those companies, the Wi-Fi is mission critical, but in many cases, they don't manage the Wi-Fi they're deploying their devices into. They may not even have visibility into the network and have no choice but to send a technical resource on site whenever a problem is reported. Installing a WhyBot sensor into these locations gives them visibility and data they previously had no easy way of getting. Thanks for taking the time to view this demo of the WhyBot system. I hope you're able to see the value our solution brings to monitoring and troubleshooting wireless networks. For more information, please contact us at info@whybot.com. And for any technical questions, please reach out to support@whybot.com. We look forward to working with you to help optimize your wireless network.